Good evening and welcome to Hudson Valley Week in Review, where we look back at the people, places, and issues making news in Ulster County and the region. I'm Amy Green. Tonight we begin in Albany, where this week a board tasked with deciding who gets to build new casinos in upstate New York has announced its decision. Stunned was the reaction at the Capitol building as the gaming facility location board selected only one site in the Hudson Valley Catskills region, and that site would not be in Ulster County, but rather in Sullivan County, specifically the Catskills. That site, the Montring Casino in Thompson. It's a $1 billion investment from Empire Resorts, featuring an 80,000 square foot casino, 390 room hotel, a spa, salon, skiing, a water park, golf course, and more. Developers were hoping for a rebirth of the Nevele Resort Casino and Spa in Ellenville, which would have created new jobs and support local veterans. Here's Casino Location Board member Kevin Law explaining the commission's selections.
Two things. First, as it relates to Montring, we believe that Montring was the superior application of the ones we reviewed in the Catskills region. So that is the one. In terms of why we didn't pick two, the best way to describe it is, I'll give you an answer and then I'll give you an analysis. The best way, we thought, for the sustainability of one casino in the Catskills region, to give it the best chance to succeed with everything that's going on in the state, in the surrounding states, was to not have another casino in the region. And so that's the primary reason why we did that. And to give you the analysis, when you try to do something big, or when companies look at a merger, you would hope that 1 + 1 = 3. At minimum, you want 1 + 1 to equal 2. In this case, we believe that 1 + 1 barely equaled more than 1. And so, to give it the best shot of success, we chose 1. Clearly, one of the applications in Orange was the largest net revenue generator to the process to the state. That's the one in southern Orange County. But it wasn't the sole criteria. It was part of 3 prongs of the state criteria as well as our own criteria to consider in the application. And that some of the casinos in Orange County had additional issues related to secret, related to environmental impact, related to community opposition, and related to financing. It was a conglomeration of other issues. It wasn't just a blanket exclusion of Orange. It was to have Sullivan County be a sustainable one, which was the original intention of the statute, to help distressed communities upstate, and then to give it the best chance for success. And then you could get into picking out all the deficiencies in all the other applications. Listen, we struggled. If we were to make a decision based on the community with the most heart in the game, we would have picked Howe Cavern. They did a great job in their presentation and building up community support. So we feel bad for some of the communities that wanted a casino badly, but we were limited in what we could and could not do. And at the end of the day, we had to do what made financial success. We didn't want to approve something in a community just because they really wanted it and have that guaranteed for failure because the economics of the project didn't work. And we gave it the statutory criteria. It was about 20%. It's sort of hard to gauge what's 20%, but it was important in terms of one, seeing the communities that really wanted something, and in terms of those who are really opposed to something and who came to the public meetings with their attorneys and threatened litigation, and it went to the speed of market possibilities for some of those projects as well. But at the end of the day, we gave the community, and whether elected officials sent letters in or held press conference, all the same weight under the community support or opposition criteria. What we tried to do was, we thought the primary intention of the statute was to help distressed communities upstates, primarily in areas like the Catskills that have been long suffering for years and calling for the legalization of casinos for their regions. And that played a big factor in our decision-making. And then we had to make a choice between which one in the Catskills worked best. And then, in sort of to one of the very first questions, what will help make this casino successful in the future? And it was there where it said, well, we couldn't pick another one in Orange County, southern Orange County or northern Orange County, because it would impact that one financially. Yes, we believe the intention was to help distressed communities of upstate and to try to promote economic development in communities that have either long been abandoned, long been neglected, or have had disinvestment over the years. And we think we certainly achieved that in Sullivan County and in Schenectady. In terms of leaving money on the table, you know, some of those, the ones you referred to, the Genting, Tuxedo Park, and/or Caesars in Woodbury Commons area, you know, they had other issues as well, including speed to market. There was not one overriding criteria. And again, let me give you an analysis. If you were to, try to put a Ben and Jerry's, near the Grand Canyon, sure, that would probably be a huge, revenue generator for, of all the franchises in the country. But it may not necessarily belong there. I had the luck of being with 4 very distinguished professionals who have varied degrees of public service on their resumes, and they all are very smart individuals who have their own views, their own perspectives on things, and we challenged each other. No, we didn't lobby each other. We sort of tried to reach a consensus. We pushed each other on something. And, from the get-go, we weren't at these 3 from the beginning. We arrived after a very deliberative process. And so I think because of the collective wisdom of my colleagues, and we all did our homework, and the reviewing of all the materials, and then had the deliberations primarily on the finances and the model. And we hammered the issues out, and we reached a consensus. And there was no arm twisting to be unanimous. We came to this conclusion today unanimously because we all believe in the decisions that we made were the right ones. It doesn't mean, as I said outside, doesn't mean we're perfect, but we try to have a rational, deliberative reasons for the selections and the recommendations that we made.
RNN senior political correspondent Andrew Whitman also spoke with Sullivan County Legislature Chairman Scott Samuelson about the decision.
Scott Samuelson, first of all, smile on your face. Very happy man. Congratulations.
Very happy man. Absolutely extraordinary.
What was your reaction when you heard the word there would be only one casino in the Catskills Hudson Valley area and it was going to be in Sullivan County?
Joy, sheer joy. Absolutely an extraordinary announcement for us. This project, among all of them, I think has the ability to transform the region, the state, and certainly Sullivan County. The connection between Montreal and Adelar will create, I think, probably the most important destination resort that New York State has ever seen.
How ready is Sullivan County to turn the economic stimulus that comes from having the casino in Thompson to the benefit of the entire county?
I think it's going to take us all of 2 seconds. We've been looking for this for 40 years, over 40 years. We were the destination attraction or vacation area in New York State for years and years and years. If there's one thing that Sullivan County knows, it's hospitality and tourism. We're ready to go. Can't wait to start.
The last time we talked a few months ago, you were concerned that there might be a casino in Orange County which would siphon off some of the business.
Yes.
First of all, the decision to only place in Sullivan County, and second of all, the decision by the commissioners, or at least the announcement, that that was one of the factors that they took into consideration. How important is that to you, and what's your reaction?
I think it's the most important thing. I mean, if there had been something south of us, we could never have built the energy that we needed to build. This is the perfect scenario. If it wasn't going to be 2 in Sullivan, this is the perfect scenario. 1 in the region, Montreal and Adelar. Absolutely perfect.
Towards the point that you made, you were hoping when we last spoke for 2 in Sullivan County. There is only 1 that's coming. Any disappointment there?
Of course. The developers are great people. We've enjoyed working with them. We had high hopes for them. It could have made a resort again. It would have been even bigger. But if it's going to be one, I think the Montreal Adelaar project is the one.
Now, this is a proposal that will take over at the old Concord Hotel, which was one of the classic Catskills hotels. Yeah. But it's not the one that also included the potential of rebuilding Grossinger's. Any concern about that?
Well, the only thing I can hope for is that the principals still own those properties. With a resort, the size and the scope of what's going to be on that Concord site, I think there's a lot more room. So if they decide to build on those, without a casino, I don't think that would be the worst thing, and I don't think it would be out of the question.
Scott, this is only a recommendation from the location committee today to the gaming board. The gaming board still has to apply for the license. Mm-hmm. Any concerns about that process?
I really don't. I think that these guys, they know what the process is. I think they went in knowing exactly what they needed to have and how they needed to go forward. I have full confidence that this will move forward as quickly as possible.
And another potential hurdle could be any legal challenges that come. It seems like one would always, or one tends to expect legal challenges from big government decisions like this. Any concern on that front?
No, actually, my understanding is that all of the developers signed agreements to not litigate in any way. That's my understanding, and I don't know the details of that. But there has been no opposition in Sullivan County, so I don't see that happening. I think we're ready to go, full steam ahead.
When we come back, we visit a community forum in Kingston discussing policing in the city. And later, we take part in a holiday event for local Kingston residents featuring some holiday magic. We'll be right back.